Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to Mixed Media Frenzy. That's where we all take the same sketch or layout and use it as inspiration and do our own take on it. And it's also Baby Got Scraps, a scrappy inspirational YouTube layout hop. And I would have probably used scraps for this layout anyway. As you can see, it does not have a whole lot of paper, but yeah, it's Baby Got Scraps too. I started out going pretty much like the original layout. My picture's a little bigger, I believe, but the mixed media part on the back, I started out going like it, but mine has more. Yeah, and I'm watching this video back and I thought, boy, I should have stopped there. And I didn't. I kept going. I found some paper I could fussy cut and add to it because the leaves that I had kind of come straight down, those curve. I thought it'd give my layout more motion if I cut them out. And well, once I added them, it looked a lot fuller. I added some modeling paste. Well, I can't remember if this one's modeling paste or molding paste, but they're the same thing. But I got a new one and I can't remember which one it is. I cut around the picture with my scissors and I made sure they weren't straight lines because I am going to distress it some after I sew around the photo. Because if you look in the original layout, they sewed all the way around with a back stitch. So that's what I'm going to do. Only that layout has red and I have pink instead. And I'm going to have a lot more pink on my layout. And the photo I'm using is my niece Robin, and she does like pink. So I am going to have pink on this layout. And once I get it stitched around the whole photo, like I said, I'm going to distress the paper, and then I'm going to ink it too. And I'm going to ink it, and I'm going to end up using Smoothie by Close to My Heart. I had another one pulled out, Hollyhocks, I think. But I picked it. Although later I thought maybe I should have used the hollyhocks, but I like it pretty good the way it is. The paper I use is by We Are Memory Keepers, and I think it's something about crushed. CHRUSHED. If anybody knows, put it down there below. But I think it's something like that. And I have a lot of it because, to buy any collection, as you would think it'd be, where I lived, you had to pay $20 and get this one thing, and that's where you got the most. So it's going to last me still a while longer, and I've used out of it quite a few times. I took a baggie and put more texture into my paste on the background. And now I'm just adding 3 different colors. I didn't want them all the same color. I wanted different tints. And I'm going to end up mixing them too. Theirs has pinkish red, almost a red here and there. And I might have it more than they do. I think I might. But yeah, I'm going to go over the top of that kind of peachy color with more pink. Before I get done though, it's not going to look quite as peachy. And see that glitter paper? That's what I'm going to fussy cut. I did cut my strips that I'm going to put along the left side of my photo. Kind of wonky. Did it with my scissors, and I'm distressing it and adding ink. But I'm not going to use the glitter side when I put the papers down. I'm just going to use it when I fussy cut. And this is a Valentine paper. It's supposed to be. And it's done mostly in the pinks and has some purple in it. I don't think it really has any red in it. I can't think of any offhand. But it does have lots of shades of pink. I used my Big Shot and I cut out a doily. And I picked the one, I first thought about using my fave. But I picked the one with the little pointy places here and there. Just to give it a little more variety once I lay it on the layout. And they had their leaves done in white, so I picked a leaf that looked as close to like theirs as I could get. But there's kind of curves, like I said. Mine don't. Mine goes straight down. And I'm going to put some ink on them like they did. And I think they might have put some white gesso on there too, looking at it kind of. I think they might have, but I didn't go ahead and do that. I just went ahead and just put ink on there. Layout also has a couple of butterflies, and I used since my darkest paper seemed to be the one with the glitter, I used it for the butterflies, and I only did two. That's what they did. So I only did two. And yeah, I thought about doing a third one, but I changed my mind. I said go ahead and go with the two. And those stickers there, they're from a different collection. I am not sure why. I just thought the colors went with this collection, so I stuck it in the iris container. But I can't remember exactly what it is. But I will use several of the stickers, and the ones mostly I'm using have a red to it. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of red at the end. Well, it's a super dark pink. It's not 100% red, but it's, well, I used it the other day as red. And, but laying it up against that pink, you can see pink tinge in it. So it is a dark pink instead of red. I used my punches and punched out two different little flowers. And right now I'm taking and putting gelatos on that one piece of paper and letting it dry because I'm going to use it for the center of my flowers. And I'm going to ink all the edges with that smoothie also. And the centers are going to have two different centers. I'm going to cut one bigger for the little bit bigger flower and one smaller for the smaller ones. And when I was putting everything over to the side, I noticed this paper had hearts. So I had to fussy cut out a few hearts. But be sure to check out the links down there below to see what all the other gals created with their inspiration layout. And yeah, I'm just going to add a bunch, a bunch of stuff to the layout. I have all that stuff fussy cut and punched out there. And so I'm going to add it to the layout and add a lot of dimension to the layout. And I did get one more punch out that I didn't even end up using at all. So I did stop somewhere. Like I said, I started out like the layout. I put the paste on the back like on the layout, but then my picture was bigger, my strips were longer. I ended up fussy cutting glitter paper to go on there just because I like the swirls. So yeah, it don't look as much at all like the layout when I'm done as it would have if I'd stopped sooner. But I do like dimension, so this is going to have quite a bit of dimension in it. And I'm adding those little circles here and there in the layout, but then I'm going to turn around and pull some rhinestones out, and I'm going to use every one on that little card because I started using them and then I thought, well, I don't have that many left. I might as well use them all because they're getting kind of on the old side. I don't know how long I've had them, but it's been a while, several years. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put them on here. And there's like a couple that's a light pink and the rest are darker. But I don't think anybody will notice that they're even on there. But they're on there. I made sure I put them on there. Okay, y'all saw that I pulled the Heidi swap out and sprinkled, thinking I was done. But no, I added more. So I wasn't done. I am just adding some more stuff I fussy cut. There was a couple of places I thought could use it. And so, yeah, I fussy cut a few more things. And I think that's it. I don't think I did anything else. Oh, yeah, there was some like kind of like a newspaper with the thin columns. There was some paper like that. Only it talked about love. And so I cut a couple of pieces. I think three actually. Let me look at the layout. Yeah, no, two. It's just two. And I'll add them to the layout. And my title's going to be Life is Sweet. And it's really tiny and it's underneath the picture. But that's what theirs was. So I thought, well, I'm going to go for it, a tiny one, because otherwise it'll just be more off than it was to start with. Oh, and my original plan to add a little extra dimension was loops for the bow. And then I remembered I had the bow laying there. Why, by then I had so much on the layout I couldn't make a whole lot. But I'm going to go ahead and add the bow. I haven't put a bow on my layout in a while. So I went ahead and added one little bow. Like I said, I was going to add loops here and there and have them with that striped paper, but instead I've got the one little bow, and it's kind of sort of on the center. And in just a second, I'm going to decide that I'm going to go ahead and add the red to the layout. Only, like I said, once I laid it up there, it was more of a very dark pink. However, I used it the other day as red, and it looked red against the blue that I used it with. But on here, it looks like a dark pink instead. But it does show up a little better than the other, in the places it's added so that it'll have, just a little bit of that color here and there. But yeah, and that's that textured paper that reminds me of mulberry paper. But I'm just gonna kind of tuck it in here and there on the layout, and then it really will be the end of my layout. See, she has more white on hers than I do. I have it on there, it's just kind of covered up. I think it might even be about the same amount of branches that I have on there, but it's just mostly covered up. And yeah, that's it. That's my layout. Be sure to check the other gals out down there below and see what they did with the inspiration layout and see how they created it. And yeah, the links will be down there so you can check them out. And if you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But yeah, can you see those stitches on that picture? I mean, just right over there to the right, you can see them. I should have used that twine. I think that twine would have fit in my needle because it's thinner than some of the twines it might have. But yeah, that's it. That's my layout. Uh, I hope you all have a happy scrapping week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.